won't play the blues now. Well, it's about me. It's always about me anyway. That's what blues singers are all about. They're all about me.
It's great to be alive, isn't it?
Oh, it's fabulous.
You wouldn't be dead for quids.
No.
Oh, have a look at this car. Hey, that's a mate of mine, Tony. Come on, we'll get in. We'll get a lift.
Got to introduce me.
Ford Thunderbird, it's a ripper.
Oh, thank you.
Go in.
All right.
Let's go. All right, let's go. Tony, good to see you again, mate.
Yeah, that's for sure.
This is a friend of mine, Lynn Peanuts.
How are you,
Lynn.
Tony?
Yeah,
And you
all
wouldn't
right.
believe
Yourself?
it. You wouldn't believe it. Look what's on a t-shirt.
She's the woman.
Yeah.
Dutch Tilders.
Dutch.
Beautiful. That's right.
Playing
Oh,
Dutch right
you're
now,
listening.
mate.
Yeah, you're listening.
Thank
Let's
you.
go. Beautiful.
You're in esteemed company, are you?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that.
Still Dutch's management. Yeah, still love him. So thanks for playing his music for us.
Yeah. She's
All the time.
She's been looked after Dutch for years. Didn't you? It was fantastic.
Yeah, 20 years management.
20
Still look after
years.
his estate.
That's unbelievable. How'd you first meet him?
When I was 19, I'm 59 now, I went to the Windsor Hotel
Yeah, the old stomping
Monday
ground.
night.
Yeah.
And I met him earlier than that, but I can't remember. I can't. But I know I actually introduced myself to him when I was 19
Okay.
at the Windsor. I used to stand up on the steps because I was short. It was
Yeah.
so crowded around him. So I'd watch him from there and feel pretty shy because it was an overwhelming feeling in there. I just felt, oh, this guy's magic. I could feel him. The music was beautiful. I fell in love with the blues with my mum.
Right.
Because she used to play blues all the time at
Oh,
home.
okay.
But when I heard Dutch, I went, nah, this is it. Got to see him more often. So I went up and introduced myself, very shyly. And then whenever I was out of town, what I did was whenever I come back, because I did the prawn trawlers and ships and merchant navy, whenever I'd come back into town, I'd have to go round the old stomping grounds and find out where his latest waterhole was. I'd say, now where's Dutch drinking? So I'd go from there, then to there, and then Ingerman, and then the post office. And when I'd find him, we'd have a meal, and then after we'd had a chat for a few hours, I'd drop him back to his place with a half a dozen cans, have a couple with him, chat some more,
Yeah.
and then leave him a few, yeah?
Yeah.
So this happened for years and years, and then one day he said to me, 20 years back, 1996, he says, I'm changing management, do you want to manage me? And I said, well, are you hard maintenance? And he said, no. And I said, because I love your music, but once you're going to keep your position, I'll keep mine, we're going to be fine. He said, we're going to be partners in crime, no worries, we'll be fine. So we worked together for the next 15 years, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, loved every bit of it, toured.
Well, he must have been easy to work with.
He
if you-
was.
If you were with him for that long.
He was. It was a
Yeah.
pure joy. He's a gentleman, honest. He's humble, even though he has a few drinks and he's cheeky. But he's a humble man and deep set, loyal.
Yes.
I trust him 100%. Neither one of us like liars.
Mm.
So there was nothing went under the table with us. Everything was up front.
Yep.
And he
Everything
trusted me.
transparent.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And he wouldn't, I'd sometimes say, look, you're the mentor. And he'd say, no, you're the businesswoman, that's where I got you. I'll look after the stage bit, you know. When I need your help, I'll ask. But he said, anything else? He said, don't want to know about computers, don't want to know about this, promotions. I'll look at your colours and I'll see what you're doing. And he did.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't, he'd let me have the free reign, you know.
Mm.
So he honoured me by doing that. He let me be creative, you know, which
Yeah.
brought the best out in me.
Yeah. Well, Dutch influenced so many guitarists, you know, people like Jeff Atchison, Lloyd Spiegel, just to name a couple.
Yeah.
What
of
do you
course.
think it was that drew those people towards Dutch?
Well, he had a different style of playing. He was unique, and he taught this to Nick Charles, what
Okay.
his actual special, unique playing was. And he had a certain model that was different than most.
Yeah.
So people couldn't copy him. So people that knew a little bit of guitar or blues, they knew that he had something different. But he also had that charisma, and he was willing to share and teach. And he'd tell them honestly, if they couldn't follow, you better find a new job. So, and he always picked on those that want to get up with a harmonica. But the man used to play a one-man band. He used to play harmonica, stomp box,
Yeah.
guitar, and vocals. So even though over the years there's been that, what do you call it, camaraderie with Matt, thank you, with Matt Taylor.
Yes.
They'd have a bit of a go at each other, but he always did love the harmonica. He played at home for me when he lived with us. My husband and I lived with us for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So for me, he'd bring out the harmonica because I always loved the harmonica.
Yeah.
So sharing, he was a sharer, You could ask him a question and he would share with you what he knew.
And he'd be honest about it, wouldn't he?
Honest, totally.
He played acoustic solo and played a bit of harp. He also played in band settings. Which one did he prefer?
He loved his band, the Blues Club.
Yeah.
Loved it. Thoroughly enjoyed the Nighthawks for that short part of his life too, with Barry Harvey.
Yeah.
He did love that. But the Blues Club was his field because he had Jeff Atchison and Blair and Martin Cooper came in and Greg Dodd. So that was a bit of his life that he, that made him famous really. That gave him the legendary name, didn't it? Because he was
That's right.
solo before, but once he became in that band and touring, they were hot. What did he prefer? He always preferred solo. So that's something that people don't know. And he said at the end, he started solo. He said, when I'm solo, I don't have to think about left, right or behind. I just feel towards the audience what I feel inside into the audience. So I can capture the audience easier when I don't have to think about composing, being the composer up front. Yeah.
Well, the beauty of Dutch, and one of the things that made him great, is obviously the fact that he's an entertainer.
Yes, he was.
All-round entertainer.
Yes, he was.
And full of anecdotes and whatever. So, in all the gigs that you've seen...
Humorous man.
Yes, he was. In all the gigs that you've seen over the years, there must have been some really interesting reactions to Dutch, from the punters out there. Have you got anything that you can
there's
share?
one West Rugby Leagues Club, the West Rugby Club in Canberra. We had a bushfire to get together. There was big bushfires up there in Canberra to wipe down a lot of area. Anyway, we went up and did a charity gig there. There was over 600 people, and Dutch started from stage. He says, "Where's my nurse?" So everyone's thinking he might be having a heart attack coming on.
Yeah.
And I knew what he wanted. He was dry, wanted another beer. So of course, me amongst the crowd, I've raced down the front, gone to the bar, got him a beer. And when everyone realised that, he goes, "My psychiatric nurse, where are you?" Okay, so I've gone up the front and he said, "She's having her meditation." Well, I need my medication while she's having her meditation, because I smoke. And anyway, I went up to give him a beer on stage, and by the time he got off stage, there was 16 pots all lined up. And he goes, "We'll have to do that at the next gig." And also when he did that song, Gemini Woman, I want a Gemini woman, so I can have a threesome tonight. Oh, and people who hadn't heard it before, you'd start seeing the rumour going round, or the chat, people telling the next person next to them, "Oh, that's what he said." And I just watched giggle after giggle after giggle. Because a lot of them don't hear the lyrics, they don't bother.
That's right,
He'd have the place in stitches, Funny man. His lyrics, if people don't bother to listen to his lyrics, mine and some I adopted, he did that album totally solo.
Yeah.
And the guy that did it, Brendan O'Neill, who's worked on this DVD we're going to release of his benefit concert, he said, "I can't believe him. He gets called One Take Dutch," because he is. He's done, ads and what do they call it, jingles?
Yes.
And that, and I do a few. He did one for stays, accommodation. And the guy goes, I haven't had Dutch in for about 10 years. He's still a one take Dutch.
Yeah.
So, and so good. He put something together just like that. So he's a very intelligent, as well as just being able to play music. He's very clever.
So he found songwriting pretty easy then, in your observations.
Yes, I'd sit there and I could watch him going through a thought. Like Step a Little Lighter was when he broke his emotional bond with Get Over the Pain of breaking up with Suzanne after 20 years, his ex-wife. He started playing this tune with a matchbox at the window with the wind and just flicking it. And he goes, got it. So all of a sudden he'd start when we're on tour, you know, whenever we went on tour, covering that, I'd drive and he'd think up words and lyrics. So he started singing it in the car and he got like 3 verses in an hour. And then he went home and he was able to went to that where we were staying for the next gig. And before that gig was over, Dutch was ready to play that song. He'd already put the music and the lyrics together. And he was a bit shy doing it the first couple, but then he's into it. But that is a beautiful song. Step a Little Lighter When You Cross My Mind.
Yeah.
That is just so special, you know, the lyrics. So the lyrics are all on that Mine and Some I Adopted is totally solo. That won 3 lots of awards. Australian Chain Goldman Awards. Yeah, and all the lyrics are on it, 19 of his favourite songs. So if anyone really is into Dutch, it's not just his music, it's his humorous lyrics.
Yeah, no, he was a master.
True experience.
at it.
Yeah. He became international singer-songwriter. I got the news of that about a month after he passed. 2011, April 2011. I got the news about a month after that he'd just become a blues finalist in the International Singer-Songwriter competition for Going on a Journey.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable. He didn't, you know, but he didn't care about the fame. He didn't care about the attributes. He said,
He didn't care
I'm doing it
about
because I love it.
Yeah, he
Do it
didn't-
because I want to meet people and entertain somebody, you know? That's why
he didn't
he did
care about the number of awards he had on his mantelpiece.
No, I brought them all out sometimes and he'd go, what are you doing that for? Because it's your history, love. I love it, you know. This shows where you were and that time you succeeded in doing something that you really loved and you were recognised. That's important to us. The punters, the people that have been enjoying you. It's important to us.
When you heard that Dutch had incurable cancer, how did that hit you at the time?
Oh, nah. I tended to have a business head. And death to me is something that I figure it's only the end of this lifetime.
Yeah,
But
another one starts somewhere.
yeah, I believe that. And I believe that my spirit was close enough to him that I would never be torn apart.
Yeah.
But when I had to take him to chemo and radiotherapy and watching him suffer where he couldn't swallow, that's when it hit me. At first it didn't because I said to him, it's okay, it's part of your journey. I'll be there for you, love, you know. And he said, everybody dies sometime, and I've had a great life. So I don't want you doing the tears for me because we're going to continue doing the journey. And then we did a gig at Cunningham's and he sang this song to me about what I want when I die. And I was writing it down and I was just focused on him, no one else could see, and I was just pouring tears like they were his tears I felt. And when we got in the car I said to him, well, I can do everything that you sang in that song to me, except I can't get you the 6 white horses. And all of a sudden the two of us just couldn't help it, they just flowed. So he's going, you stop and I'll stop. You stop first. No, neither one of us could. And I'm trying to drive with the tears pouring. He's going, now stop it. No, you stop it. And after that day, we figured we'd done enough tears. Now we just do the journey.
Do the journey.
And so we
that's
did
right.
it well, you know?
Yeah.
That was sad when I lost him. Oh, boy, hell.
Oh, absolutely.
Awful. I still feel the missing of he was my blues husband, my Clayton blues husband. Still miss him like everyone would who knew
that's
him.
right. You organised a tribute for him while he was still alive, which was a huge success. Tell us a bit about that.
He's pretty humble. So he didn't want, when Phil Manning suggested to me on the phone, he says, we should do a charity benefit event for Dutch. So I ran it past him. He goes, no, has their own problems. I said, Dutch, you've done a lot of charity, you know, events for other people. These people want to honour you. Please let me get the cream of the crop together, have your best mates on stage and bring your friends in and family and let's do it. So in 5 weeks, put together that concert. We had 600 in, 70 musicians, 15 camera crew, and we still had 250 on the waiting list. And they're all begging me to have a second concert, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He knew he couldn't. He'd stopped having his chemo about 4 days before. He was losing his memory, so how he did that concert is phenomenal. He said even if there was pain, it's going to wait till tomorrow. And everybody just wanted to come in. But on stage he said, I'm so humbled, I never knew I had this many friends. And that's something he didn't realise, because he was always on the road, moving around, very social, go to this pub. Sometimes he'd be at that pub, but whenever I'd turn up, he'd be sitting on his own. So he had his lonely blues times.
Well,
He wasn't always surrounded by people.
Man if he did.
If he didn't, yeah. And some of the songs are from his experiences, just sitting himself at a bar, meeting the locals and having a chat. And I have to tell you, how do you organise the tours with Dutch? Well, I love travelling, so I'd done a lot of travel around Australia and New Zealand. So what I did was I got this huge map, half a wall, and I said, right, pin the tail of the donkey, your turn, my turn. Walk forward, eyes closed, and point a spot. And then you tell me if you've got any friends or publicans around that area you haven't caught up with for a while, and we'll hit it. You pick, you know, we'd find the spot, know that, and then we'd work out the tour to it. My friends, your friends. and then I'd always throw surprises in, because it's not good if he knows everything.
No, that's
I'd
right.
give him a list of where things, but I'd always have a surprise up. He'd go, what are we doing that night? You've got nothing there? None of your business. So there'd always be surprise friends, surprise places we're staying. So you always looked forward to the tour because there was always something new.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get far on the road because he'd go, pub coming up at the next town, got to say hello to Joe Blow. Oh, so going to New South Wales, you're several pubs and got to stop and get his 2 cans for the next half hour or 20 minutes. But I've got to pop in there because I know the publican. I wonder if he's still there. I wonder if she's still there.
You've got to get a couple of travellers.
Yeah, got to get travellers. So I'd do the sober trip.
Yeah.
So I was good to him because it was hard not to sit there and have a few with him, yeah. But when I'd get the other end, he'd say, done your job, now you can relax. So I'd enjoy the punter's side then.
Yeah.
Once everything's set up, I'd have a ball, you know. So it was
Back in.
very, very good. It was good fun.
Yeah, well, you
I had a
organised, that's
ball.
right. You organised a lot of gigs up in the country.
I did.
And country people are different to, you know, us
City.
urbanites in the city. What was the funniest gig that you ever had?
Oh, the funniest. When, I'm trying to think when we went to, the funniest.
One of the funniest.
One of the funniest. Okay, Fingal,
Right.
Tasmania. We arrived, and I've said to them on the phone, now you've got a PA, not a karaoke PA, because we knew that they new publicans, they'd just taken it over.
Yep.
And it was an old prison where they used to keep people underground. We didn't like it there. We had a little look around, neither one of us. And anyway, we turn up and they brought out and showed him they had nothing set up. Even though I'd rung them 2 hours earlier, we're coming in from Launceston and whatever. They brought out a karaoke PA set and he just looked and he goes, put the stuff in the car and we're gone. He didn't want to know. I said, you go to that bar, you shut your mouth and I will sort something out. So I rang up Bruce, Peter Cornelius's brother.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I said, can you help us out? Because we got this really bad problem with the PA. And he was flooded in, so he got a 4-wheel drive to come in. It's about an hour away. Bring us a PA assistant, and we did the gig. And it was packed, because Fingal had just won their first football match for 100 years, and they beat this, and they couldn't believe it. So before Dutch started, he goes, they're all drunks in there. I walked in, dressed beautifully. He's up on stage doing a bit of his own sound check or whatever. I walk in, he goes, he's about to say, like, you look beautiful. I've got these tall bloody footballers over the top. And the beers all went on the top of me. So I had to go back upstairs and get changed. All I could do was laugh. And he goes, this is the beginning of the evening. And he goes, I'm not going to the bar up there because that bloke up there, he says, if you don't play well, you know what we do with you. And Dutch goes, can you keep him up the other end there because he's very dangerous. I'm a bit scared of him. So, and it ended up being a beautiful night. But it was funny.
Sounds like a real hoot. I bet you they had a real ball.
They all did.
Yeah.
And they wanted to buy CDs, you know, so we had a bit of, we didn't have CDs when we first started together, no copyrights on anything, you know. But he goes, well, it made us a bit of, that was worth it because he was rap. That was a bonus for putting up with the beginning, you know. But he's a cool dude. He still got up there and did, and this bloke that was telling him, you better be good, he come down the front and he stood 10 foot in front of Dutch and he looked and he went, he was going like this, clapping at him. And at the end he said, oh, I want to shake your hand. You're the best music I've ever seen. So, you never know how people are going to respond, do you?
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
That's the great part of it. It's fun. Surprise, you know. He's welcome.
Now, Dutch is obviously up there somewhere. He's looking down here. What do you reckon he'd say to you?
So he says, keep doing it, girl, or you're doing good, girl. That's what he says. He says, my fearless manager. You look after her. She's my fearless manager. and sometimes I get other names, you know. But one time on that at his benefit concert that I just played back recently because it's come out beautifully, really pleased. Anyway, on there he's called me my illustrious manager.
Oh.
That's a big word for me to take in, but good on you, darling.
There you go.
Yeah, I was spoiled. I was spoiled. He was wonderful.
He was an absolute legend.
Yes.
Will there be another Dutch Tilders in
Never.
Australia?
Never, and I mean that.
Yeah.
There's people still in my travels, and I still get letters and emails and people ringing me from still. Didn't know Dutch passed. He's the best. Some people say I love the blues and I keep loving the blues and I'll still be interested in the blues because of Dutch Tilders. He started the folk here and he turned folk into blues, right? And he stayed authentically a blues man because he said you can turn folk and blues into jazz, or you can come from all these genres, but he said we're not going commercial. He says we're sticking with blues. I'm the authentic blues man Australian. That's what I'm going to do. And I said, you want to go overseas? Because I want to take him overseas with me in 2007. He goes, I can't go there. I'd be running into all those so said blues buddies, and they'll know how much I plagiarise their music.
He's a character.
He's a character, absolutely. But yeah.
Now you've been involved in the DVD production of the DVD where you took footage of the tribute concert.
Yes.
Back in 2010.
It was actually Dutch Tilders cancer benefit concert. Yeah.
So you're in the process of putting the DVD together. What's the current status?
It's been edited by Lisa Carriage, Chocolate Scorpion. There's a little bit more masking to do. The audio's pretty much done now. We're happy. And let's celebrate the blues and true stories, experiences of the legends that walk in, go and travel, and they might have a drink, but they're sharing their life. They're full emotion. He said, I couldn't give anyone any more. He said, I could write forever, but I feel when he wrote Going on a Journey, he said, when I wrote Going on a Journey, I knew I'd done enough.
Yep.
He felt he didn't have to give any more, do any more. So it's a lovely stage to come in your life, isn't it?
It is.
So this DVD, they're going to love it. All the cream of the crop of the blues of Australia, plus Kevin Borich, Mr. Rock and Roller, who first started with Dutch with the Blues Had a Baby. They called it rock and roll, direct to disc. They're all in there, and even though we had some unprofessional amateur, it was all put together with volunteers 5 weeks, before. They're going to love it. I've seen it. It's great. They're going to love it. So let's remember the blues. And let's remember Dutch Tilders, our legendary brother.
That's right.
The family.
A unique blues man.
Unique. Stuck to the authentic blues.
That's right. And
He is.
McGee. Keep the faith, people, keep the faith. Well, now you're feeling down. Well, now you're feeling down. Well, now you're feeling down, but your world will turn around. Keep the faith, brother, keep the faith. Keep the faith, brother, keep the faith. Keep the faith, sister, keep the faith. This advice was given me by Walter Brown McGee. Keep the faith.